It's time for the grand finals of the ESL Open Cup 177 for the South Korean server. And at this point, well, this matchup, it's a bit of a classic. It's a best-of-5 series of Zerg versus Protoss. These two are teammates. As first off, in the top left-hand corner of the map Babylon, we have Dark and his opponent in the opposite corner with the cake. 2 cakes even. A little greedy, don't you think? Anyways, with the cake spinning around on the main nexus, we're looking inside of the main base of hero. Hero versus Dark. They're in the same clan. They have faced off against each other many times. As a matter of fact, I just looked it up. Apparently, these two, in tournament games only, have played 62 matches. A grand total of about 200 maps, with 43.65% of them going in favor of Dark. So, Hero essentially has won the majority of their encounters, but I mean, these two, whenever they face off against each other, they play some of the most chaotic StarCraft 2 ever. Especially Dark. I've talked about his early game many times before, but I can guarantee you that the top level Zergs, for example from the European server, they'll be looking right here at the timing of that cyber core. They're like, okay, the cybernetics core is finishing up at 2 minutes and 14 seconds. That means I need to make 4 Zerglings, so that way I won't die to the very first adept that shows up. If it would have been delayed though by 2 seconds, I probably could have skipped 1 group of Lings and just, you know, defended with 2 Zerglings instead, right? And then as the follow-up goes, when the second chrono boost goes onto the gateway, I need to add on this amount of additional Zerglings, and if I see a 3rd unit coming out of the gateway as well, I know I'm gonna have to make a few more. That's how I feel like most of the European Zergs approach it. And then you have Dark. Dark makes an arbitrary amount of Zerglings in the early game of ZVP. Totally happy to take the economic loss. Now he just gets a bunch of Zerglings in. This guy plays the funkiest early game, man. It seems like he just can't be bothered doing the math. He's like, you know what? I can't be bothered. Okay, I need to install Excel. I don't want to play an Excel spreadsheet. I'll just make a round of Zerglings. However many drones I need, it doesn't really matter that much. I'll just make a round of Zerglings and I'll try to not take damage. And it's very funny because it's a very unoptimal way to play StarCraft 2, but obviously Dark is, well, one of the most successful players we've ever seen in StarCraft. So there we go, he's making a random amount of links once again. I have studied probably 100 Dark games over the years, okay? And I've tried figuring out any of his... There's a little bit of missed target firing over there. I've tried figuring out his patterns, and genuinely, if you compare 4 games in a row, he'll make a random amount of Zerglings every time, even if the opponent did the exact same opener. So right now, for example, 28 versus 32 workers, that is not where Cyril would be at this point in the game. Anyways, Oracle going across the map. Spore Crawler is not done yet at the 3rd. He's hit a supply block as well, so that Queen did not start up. In the meantime, though, the Zerglings here are working on the front door too. Okay, they're gonna be able to break in. Looks like the Oracle actually ended up killing 8 workers, though. Really good start right there for Hero, but he needs to make sure he doesn't lose that much at home. Of course, in the meantime, we haven't seen a 3rd Nexus yet. 3rd Nexus usually starts at about 345, 350 or so. So Hero already feeling the pressure. Roach Warren coming up. No Lair, no Evo Chamber. No Spore in the main base either. Second Oracle shows up. Yeah, these two, man, they don't necessarily play the map. They don't necessarily play the matchup. They play the opponent, right? They look at the opponent. They're like, you know what? We've played about a dozen times over the last week. I can go ahead and, yeah, figure out what you're doing. So you know that I know that you know that I know what I'm doing. And therefore, you know what the best counter to that is. It gets very messy. These guys tend to play the highest level StarCraft 2, but also some of the most chaotic StarCraft 2. Oracle trying to go for a little bit of a stasis ward, and it will certainly catch a whole lot of those workers. In the meantime, though, the reason why Dark got caught there is because he was working on those adepts. Does end up losing a bunch of Lings, but the 3rd base does stay alive. Dark, by the way, still no Lair. Still no Evo Chamber. The man is ready to march the Queens. We need to slow it down. It takes a while, okay? The ladies are not very quick, but they will get across the map eventually, and they're joined with a bunch of roaches. Roaches, Zerglings, and 4 queens. I guess we're remaking queens at home at some point. Oh no, the 5th one is also gonna come across the map. She'll probably arrive after the battle. Anyways, at this point, herO's sees what he's playing against. Only 31 workers right now for Dark, by the way. This man is completely all in. He's gonna have to, at the very least, kill that third Nexus, but I'm not even sure if that alone is enough. There are a couple of shield batteries here available, so that's nice. A recall on the Adept as well from the other side of the map. The Queens, okay, are starting to work right here on those Oracles. We've got 4 Oracles right now. That's pretty nice. Well, I mean, the 4th one should probably join in. That'd be great. I don't think there's enough right here for Protoss to hold on. He just used recall, though, to get that Adept across. I actually would have much rather liked him to see, or I would have much rather liked him to recall this section right now into the natural expansion. Yeah, just make a whole load of units. He starts up Blink, but that Blink is not going to finish here anytime soon. A bunch of the probes here do get caught as well. Third Nexus does indeed fall. Battery overcharge in the natural. What about, like, I don't know, a Void Ray or just spending money? Just anything? Slow Zealots, I think, are going to be very difficult to hold this with. Yeah. Dark hit a big supply block as well, right as he was ready to start making roaches. I wasn't going to call him out on it, but this has to be one of the lowest high-level games of StarCraft 2 I've seen recently. Like, 2 players in the top 10. Both making about a dozen mistakes in this 7.5 minute long game. In the end, though, there can only be one winner. And it may not be the cleanest. It may not be the smoothest. But I do believe, yeah, that Dark obtains the victory. Ah, NeoHumanity, game number 2. Dark decided to go straight for the forward expansion. That is the one with the rich Vespine Geyser over here. It returns 8 gas a trip rather than the conventional 4, but it still has the standard 2250, just like we would see on these gases over here, so it does mine out very quickly. Wonder if Dark has anything planned with that. I mean, it's something he's been doing for a while, right? This map in general, Dark has changed the strategies, well, around the world. He used to expand over here behind his opponent's natural. Not something he really does anymore, but lately in quite a few of his games I've seen him take the forward expansion instead. And this doesn't necessarily have to be aggression, right? So that's one of the things that's tricky here for Protoss. When you see a Zerg player taking this exposed third, you would imagine, okay, I need to make sure that I defend, because he is definitely going to throw something at me. But it turns out when you knock down the cooling tower over here, you block this path in the center, suddenly, yeah, even though this is a pretty exposed base, all things considered, it does actually feel pretty safe. It's quite difficult for the opponent to actually, for example, go for an Adept push or something like that, because the units just simply will have to go around or they have to kill the rocks, but it does get slowed down quite a bit. So even though we do see that third, I'm not convinced that it actually means that we're going to see aggression, but we'll have to see. Only time will tell. The main downside, of course, is that, well, these bases are incredibly far apart. Creep is going to have to connect them eventually, but the Queens are not going to be able to help one another out. The advantage, of course, though, is that you can start a creep tumor over here or so, maybe over there, and you can start spreading it straight towards your opponent's third base. Okay, 1 link going down so far, nothing all too crazy. We do have an Overlord over here as well at the fronts. Yeah, Zerglings here waiting on the left side. Now Dark's making 8 links. Notice in the previous game at this point in time, he made 10. Oh, he makes 10 this time around too. Look at that. A little bit of a standard bit of... No, actually, that's not a standard amount of links. He's making 12. He's making more. He lost a couple too, though, so maybe he's trying to replace those? Anyway. Links here do manage to get into the base eventually, and they will scout that this is a normal start right here from hero. Once again, opting to go for the Stargate. And look at the work account right now. 20 versus 29. This is horrible for Zerg, no? Am I mistaken? Dark always seems to make, you know, games out of these situations, though. Someone actually left a really clever YouTube comment the other day about Dark, and I thought it was quite accurate. They said something along the lines of, it looks to me that Dark doesn't care until he falls behind, and then he suddenly seems to power up. You know, he's like kind of like a Super Saiyan, I suppose, is what they're saying. These guys, they look, well, I guess they have unrealistic body standards just by default, okay? But as soon as stuff really goes wrong, as soon as, you know, it becomes a disaster, suddenly they can summon the power of the entire planet that they're on. They get, you know, maybe Dark's hair gets blonde as well. I have no idea. Maybe it starts glowing, man. He gets like an aura around himself too. That would be kind of sick, but Someone needs to do the research for that. But seriously, he oftentimes does look like he doesn't care that much. Until he falls behind. So sometimes in these games, it always feels like he's intentionally putting himself behind. He's still behind in workers right now. Third Nexus goes up. Excellent start here for hero, of course, even though he did have a couple of those links in the base. Snipes the creep tumor there at the front too, yeah. So we are gonna knock down these rocks, but now we have all these Zerglings. You would be very hard-pressed to find a replay where Sero at this point has 17 links or more than 8. At 4 minutes and 45 seconds against the Protoss who opened up normal. So for every 2 links you see, it could have been a drone. And that's painful, especially now with the Adepts zapping, or sorry, not the Adepts. They wish they had pulsar beams. The Oracles right here zapping away at all this too. There's the Roach Warren once again. I think that's about 430, 440 or so on the timing of that structure. No lair, no Evo chamber. Are we gonna march the ladies again? Did he just knock down the rocks in the middle only to then start knocking them down again? Is that the plan? Nah, I don't think we're gonna go for a queen attack again, are we? I mean, we could. It'd be kind of silly, but he is adding on more queens. He is adding on more overlords too. Okay, that's a lot of oracles, by the way. We have 4 oracles right now, and it looks like he's gonna go for more oracles too. That's insane. Second Stargate, by the way, coming up. Hold up, right now, what's going on? herO's looking at this. I think he's making the assumption that this is gonna be a similar attack as the one in the previous game. So Dark does fire up around the roaches here. He's been... yeah, I think he wanted to make those some time ago. I think he wants to go for an attack once more, but I'm not exactly sure. He's going double Oracle production, look at that. He's got double Stargate Oracle. Yeah, these queens are very exposed, man. Although I say that, you do have to actually micro your oracles. Ugh. One of the queens is attacking the other queen? What in the hell is going on in this series so far, man? We just saw 2 oracles die for 2 queens. That is uncharacteristically sloppy. So this is the finals of the ESL Open Cup 177, meaning that it's the final series of the day. Maybe this particular tournament ended up running for a very long time and these guys have been playing games for like 10 hours? That could certainly be. That is something, yeah, the context that I'm missing here in these casts sometimes. These guys may have very well been playing games for many, many hours, and at this point it's 4 in the morning and, you know, they want to go to bed. That is certainly something that could be the case. I think Dark is just going to go for an all-out assault once again. Yeah, so no lair, no Evo chamber, just a ton of Roach Ravager Ling Queen. He spread creep straight through the center of the map, using that rich Vespene Geyser too to try and at the very least get a little bit more value. Is there enough right now for hero to stop this? He's got 7 oracles. He's soon gonna have 9 oracles. That's a lot. Don't tell me you're gonna march home right now, Dark. Imagine, by the way, there would be a Dark Shrine. I actually think a Dark Shrine would be excellent, considering he already has a Twilight Council. I think it's worth sacrificing a single Adept here to get a Dark Shrine going, just so we, you know, 100% hold this. Because obviously with lair-based play, there's no detection. I mean, he couldn't even bring a Spore Crawler to the front. This is not the time to attack though, hero. Hero. This is not the moment where we need to go with the main army anyways. He's just, look at this, mass Oracle. Yeah, he's just killing a Spore Crawler right now too. Another Queen popped. I mean, that Spore is putting in a lot of work. I don't know if that was worth it, to be honest, because that was an awful lot of the Oracles going down in total. Yeah, 3 additional Oracles there for a Spore Crawler. All their energy is gone too, right? And that's the big problem. These guys, they're flying wizards, and right now they're not really helping out. You need to activate the Pulsar Beam here in order to start it, but starting the Pulsar Beam also costs a bunch of energy. Okay, here we go. Does he have enough energy to shut all of this down? What are we watching right now? This attack is so late as well from Dark, man. He was just sitting there making roaches for ages. He had those oracles flying around his bases, so he wanted to, like, not show his opponent that he wanted to go for this attack. So he could have had a Dark Shrine done by now. 100%. If he started it by the time he saw all of those units, I think he could have easily afforded a Dark Shrine. You need like 4 Dark Templar here to kill this army in a heartbeat. All those oracles now, though, without energy. Dark just killed 21 workers. He's still making non-stop army, but I wouldn't be surprised if he continues droning here in a moment, because he must realize as well that this is not gonna win him the game as soon as those oracles have some energy again. Corrosive Power right there kills an oracle too. That's not supposed to happen. But maybe he wants to just, yeah, flood the units into the opponent's main base and just kill as much of this infrastructure as possible. I love watching these guys compete. It's such a mess. The one downside though, if Dark ends up winning this game, is we're gonna run into the problem where he's actually ahead in the series, right? And like, you know, that YouTube commenter already figured out, that must mean the man sort of just sits back and does nothing anymore. He powers down, man. He's like a transformer going back to his car mode. That's not where we need you to be, Dark. It's actually dangerous when Dark gets 2-0 ahead. He might just give up. He might just, you know, stop trying. Okay, we're going Phoenixes on the back of this. Naturally, yes. 35 probes remain right now. There's quite a few queens available, but queens, I mean, they're a solid form of anti-air, but not my favorite. The reason why he's starting up Phoenixes right now is because Mass Oracle, it usually baits out Mutalisks. So we should be seeing Mutas hitting the battlefield, but I actually don't think... No, he still doesn't have a lair. So Dark's still just making non-stop Queen Spore Crawler here to try and stop those oracles. Do we not need a lair, Dark? Are we trying to win the game without a lair? What about Roach Speed? Imagine Roach Speed here. What about killing all these overlords with your Phoenixes? Yeah. I don't mind that either. I mean, that was me talking to a hero, not the... Anyways, doesn't matter. Okay. So this is a strange game, though. Exactly the type of game that Dark likes. Playing a normal match? Ugh, boring. Playing a crazy game. You know what? We might be onto something here. Why are there two groups of roaches passing each other in the middle of the map? Anyways, large group of charge lots here as well. I don't think they should commit. Nah. Are we gonna do a push here with spore crawlers or something? What's the plan? He's making so many spore crawlers. Yeah, we're going up to like 15 spore crawlers here, which is a lot. Natural remate right now for hero. Still pumping out mass amounts of phoenixes. Somehow, some way, one overlord managed to get around. We've got 12 oracles, 9 phoenixes, and 15 zealots. Silver League or top of the line Grandmaster? Be my guest. I can't figure it out. He's killing all the spores in the main base. The lair finally starts up, but he could probably kill the lair if he wants to. He would have to target it though. In the meantime, yeah, this is the real problem. The queens are marching, and you know what? The spore crawlers are coming across the map as well. Obviously, the creep isn't that far forward yet. Dark also cannot actually transfuse with his queens until they get back onto the safety of the creep. Hero trying to avoid that right now by lifting all of the ladies up in the air. Oracles on the other side though, yeah, they had to come back home. There we go. Now they're gonna be activating their beams once again. Phoenix is trying to take those queens out of the equation, but mass transfusion is going down. Man, these guys. Genuinely, the lowest level of high-level StarCraft 2 we can ever watch is Hero versus Dark facing off against each other. I think in the end, though, Dark just has way too much stuff. Maybe economically he wasn't off to a flying start in this game, but he's like, yeah, if I just kill my opponent's natural, that's one way to get an economic advantage. I just kill all of their workers. That way I will end up with more stuff. Royal Blood. Match point right here for Dark. Cybercore finishing up. Standard openers here from both players. What is it going to be? It's a Stargate. It's a Stargate, Lister. Bigger type of Protoss. That is my very best American accent. It's good, right? I could fit right in. I'll move on over to Texas in the near future. Buy a Ford F-150. Just, you know, pull out my "It's a Zergling, Lister" line every time somebody talks to me. I don't think anybody knows that I am not from there. Link speed is going to finish up. How many links are we going to see this time around, Dark? How many do you feel like? You know what? Maybe the European guys, like Serral, Raynor, Lembo, Elaser, right? Maybe they're the kind of guys that are painting StarCraft between the lines, okay? They're not very free-flowing, right? They're not real artists. I mean, I'm not saying if you paint between the lines, you're not a real artist. I understand that that is an art direction as well that is very popular. But generally speaking, the more free-flowing guys seem to be more successful. The guys that just sort of take a brush, have a vision in their head, and just put it out on the canvas, right? That's, I'm pretty sure, how Dark views himself, man. He probably views himself as a Zerg artist. The Zerglings are his creep, or what? The creep is his paint, rather. The queens are his brushes. The tumors is... The map is his canvas. The Zerglings are... I'm not sure. Maybe the frame? Ooh. I don't know. I could have gone... If you give me a little bit more time to think about this, I'll come up with something better. Yeah, so this time around, we've got a bunch of links around the map once again. 10 links in total. They've achieved absolutely nothing. Oracle, going across the map. This guy has got 1 kill. Not a good amount. This is the most conventional game that these two have played so far. Lair starts up at about 4 minutes, though. That is a very quick Lair. Especially for Dark's sake. Especially in this series. We'll have to see what the man has got in store for us, because I don't think he's just gonna go for a Lair here, skip the Evo Chamber, just skip the Roach Warren and do a whole lot of nothing. But he is making a lot of... Are we going to go Mutas? Are we gonna go Nidus Worm? Are we gonna go Ling Swarm Host? Like, what is the plan here? What are we doing with this? He's adding on more gases, but he still does not have a Roach Warren. So Blink is coming up. Oh, we're going Hydras. That's not even a consideration I made. Hydras are considered to be one of the worst units in the game right now. Maybe he wants to go Lurkers. Fair enough. But okay, maybe I was thinking a little too crazy here. Hydraling Bane, of course, very good. He just started up 6 Overlords. Why 6? I don't know. That should be something that hero can punish, right? Because he's clean. Like, I haven't really been playing. I've been not paying a very close attention to what hero's been doing in this game so far, as supply blocks go and all that. But that should be something he can shut down. Ranged upgrade coming up for the Hydras. We're just gonna start pumping those out. So we have 57 drones right now, 5 gas. Couple more drones. We'll probably see this base over here, or that gas over here, and then a base over there, or maybe even at the front. Okay. The dance will soon begin. Hero is currently putting on his dancing shoes, his tutu, you know, his cute dress. He's ready to go. He's gonna start tiptoeing around his opponent very soon with Blink. Problem is, Dark has got a weird unit composition against this once again. Hydraling used to be very popular in Brood War. I guess it still is. Usually it's Hydraling Bane in StarCraft 2, but when you think about it, Roaches and Ravagers kind of serve the same function, and they're a hell of a lot easier to control. It's also a problem right now, say for example this would be Glaive Adepts. Glaive Adepts are amazing against both Zerglings and Hydras, and it would be a lot of trouble. Okay, Dark trying to get the wraparound, not gonna happen here. Getting rid of that Creep Tumor would be really lovely, there you go. Nice target firing right there by Hero. He's gonna continue dancing. Dancing Queen. Okay, he sees the hatchery over here on the right side too. Goes for a Stasis Ward. You love to see it. Okay, hatchery does go down. Nice stasis here, and he does slither away. Ay, ay, ay. I thought the Hydras were doing the slittering over here, but these guys, man, that was actually a recipe for disaster there. But somehow, would you look at that? Literally a perfect game so far here for Hero. Okay. Charge coming up. There's a changeling staring at the Robo facility. We're just going Mass Hydra, by the way. Mass Hydra. I don't know how this plays out. I'm inclined to imagine it's better for the Protoss, especially when we go into a Robo Bay. The thing is, the normal transition for Protoss would be to go into Disruptors, but I think a Colossi or 2 would not hurt. Or 3. Or 4. You know what? Maybe 5. Do whatever you like, hero. I think autopiloting right now into disruptors would be a mistake, though. Yeah, okay, that was also a gigantic mistake. Scoots all of those oracles straight deep onto the creep and then puts down the stasis ward. I'm gonna make the assumption that these games were played no earlier than 3 in the morning. I think so, yeah. Double upgrades inside of the main base. We'd have to fire up the +2 here momentarily on that forge. There's the Robo Bay going down. And there's the Lurker then as well coming up. Hero snipes another hatchery. Cool guys don't look at explosions, but here's the Hydralisk surround. It's the first time you've ever heard me use that term. Honestly, right now we're at 41 Hydras. That is a scary amount. Robo Bay is only about halfway done. Oh my god. What are we looking at in this series? Hydras have an insane amount of damage per second though. Their DPS is not to be underestimated. Okay, that 4th base is super dead. I actually think Dark is just gonna continue marching here. Mio Maika's like, yeah, I told you guys Hydras were sick. Mio Maika goes Hydras pretty much every game I've ever seen him play. He does default right now into Disruptors. I think that's a mistake. I think a Colossus here would be much better. But maybe he doesn't have the time to make one. Okay, Blink still very nice. Yeah. Dark's still only at 58 workers. Obviously, he lost that 4th base twice. So, yeah, it's not like his economy is particularly great here either. Decides to go for the forward base. If we're gonna put it over there, we're definitely gonna need some creep in that area. Disruptors, though, are hitting the battlefield. There they are. Storm would also be a good choice against this. Anyways, eventually I think Dark is planning to go into Lurker with Viper support. So that is something to note. We're putting a bunch of Lurkers in random locations just to make sure that these, expansions don't get harassed all too much. Stalker's going around the back though. Classic 1-2 punch right here by Hero. Can he get away? Kind of. Yeah, we're actually just individually microing them. Sure, why not? That's another base going down though. Big group of Zealots here on the left side of the map too. That Lurker actually repositioned once again. There's the Purification Nova. Grabs a couple of Hydras. Zealots over here though are an actual disaster right now for Dark. He needs to get rid of those Zealots one way or another. This 4th base, not super important right now for Hero. He needs to be careful that he doesn't get all of his Stalkers cornered here. Gets them away. Wouldn't mind seeing a recall. There come the Lurkers moving forward. Zealots have now killed 15 drones, and I've got a feeling they will also kill that 3rd hatchery if they decide to target it down. There go, okay, the Purification Novas. Good amount of damage. Disruptor's still alive. Yeah, that hatchery is super dead. So this is now 2-base Zerg going up against 3-base Protoss. The Lurkers are very difficult to deal with though. There's a little Hydra flank coming in from the left as well. But at this point we have more Stalkers than there are Hydras out on the battlefield. Do we have detection here? We don't have proper detection here as Protoss. I would love to see at least one observer, but apparently Hero doesn't need it as Dark decides to leave the game. Game 4, match point 2 for Dark. We find ourselves on Gresven. What's it gonna be, Hero? A Stargate? What? Never seen before. That is not a structure we very commonly see in this matchup whatsoever. Actually, credit where credit is due. I've seen a lot of the other Protoss players in the world, like, you know, Maxpax, Estrella, even, well, maybe not Classic so much. I was gonna say Classic, but nah, you'll open up Stargate pretty much every game. Anyways, they have been messing around with some different starts as well, but Stargate, most definitely the go-to option in all of these games. Lynx running in once again. We do have an Adept out, but for some reason, yeah, Dark has been sending these Lings around the map in such a way that Hero just doesn't see them in time. Splitting them up right now. Ling speed is about to finish though. Let's roll the dice. How many Zerglings are we going to produce this time around? Will it be 2? Will it be 4? Will it be 12? Nobody knows. It's gonna be 2. Even Dark doesn't know yet, by the way. Oh, 4? We're going Spore Crawler. Okay, we're going 4 Lings this time around. There were already 2 additional ones available, but the Adepts are going to prevent them from getting into the base. There goes the Oracle. Spores, by the way, a little bit earlier this time around. I think they started out like 325. Okay, here I'm not even gonna test whether or not he can get any damage done over at the third base. He's waiting for the other Oracle to shows up. That's gotta be a miss rally, no? Okay. Okay, I was gonna say, I don't know what we're planning. He was very confidently running on over here. I was like, okay, maybe there's gonna be a proxy head. That would be insane. No, a mistake. A mistake was made. One of the smallest mistakes in this series so far, though, for what it's worth. 5 drones have just gone down. Oracles activating their beams. Third Nexus, by the way, taken here on the right side. For some reason, this is something that is confusing Dark a bit. He's gonna find out about it, though, eventually. There we go. Did we just lose an Oracle? No. Second Oracle just didn't engage. Fair enough. Well, not with them fighting the main base, it looks like. Good amount of damage done here in total, though. 11 workers is nothing to scoff at. Good start right here for hero, for sure. Okay. Twilight Council. Forge. We'll see a second Forge here momentarily. It's gonna be Blink. Yep. Okay. This is what hero likes to do. He decided to go back to basics. Stop trying to play these games that Dark is trying to play. Because it's clearly very annoying to play against him, and when you try to face him and match him with, you know, ridiculousness, apparently things don't go so well for you. Okay, those Adepts from the early game, still nice to have around. Force out a round of roaches. Maybe the Queens are thinking about marching once again, though. We don't have a lair. We've got more drones than we did in game number 1, if I'm not mistaken. I think we're actually just gonna march the ladies again. Yeah, here they go. That is... I don't know, man. So Queen Marches, for those of you that haven't watched a lot of StarCraft, now that sucks. Queen Marches have lost popularity because Blizzard nerfed them. Queens used to be able to transfuse off creep as well. These days they can't do it anymore. And effectively, at least in the past, that meant that these strategies were shut down. So Queen Marches, the Soul Stroll is what we used to call this. We had the German taxi, the Warsaw subway. Remember those builds? This is the Soul Stroll, the version that the Korean players tend to favor, where you simply walk the units. No Nidus Worms, no Overlord drops, none of that. These strategies used to be amazing, specifically because of the fact that Queens could transfuse. Especially in the Void Ray meta. Anyways, battery overcharge right there to try and save the Cybercore for as long as possible. Really what hero wants, though, is just more Stalkers, right? So Blink at this point is done. +1 ground weapons is also finished up. And this is excellent so far right here by the Protoss player. Honestly, impressive work. Yep. This is not what you're hoping for here as Zerg. So a new Cybercore is about to finish up, so this really shouldn't hurt and hinder his Stalker production that much. Still needs to be careful, though. Imagine if he had another Oracle here, huh? That would have been amazing. I understand that I'm asking for a lot, and perfect play is difficult, but I think that would have been amazing. Yeah, so at this point, Dark's looking at this like, yo, I'm not gonna be able to get much done here. I'm gonna march back home. Overlord's also boxed back home right now. Evo Chamber starts up. We'll probably see a lair here. Excellent situation right here for hero. Really good. How many workers did he lose? 0. 0 probes have gone down in this game. Oracles once again on the other side of the map. Okay. Not the cleanest harassment there, but that's also because these guys were fighting at the front. I'm assuming we're gonna see a Nexus. Hey, sir, you didn't put down the Nexus. Sir, you get back here. Thank you. He needed to start up that Nexus. And he will. It's because I shouted at him, okay? Very good situation right now for hero. Are we gonna see another reverse sweep? I feel like I've been casting so many best of 5s lately, where it's a 2-0 advantage for one player, and then somehow it gets down to 2-2, and the opponent ends up winning. I mean, this is an excellent advantage right now for hero. It's very difficult to win against hero from this particular point of view. Yeah, he's got 2 upgrades coming up. He's doing everything that he loves doing. Do we have our robo facility yet? No. That's the one thing that he's lacking here. We'll probably see something like that added on very soon. He doesn't necessarily need it, though. With double upgrades like this, he can stick around on just gateway-based units, but it does feel a little flimsy. If anybody can do it, though, I do think it would be Mr. Hero. 1-1 upgrades here coming up as well for Dark. He's going into the infestation pit, so we'll probably add... Yeah, we'll probably see him adding on a couple of infestors here momentarily. That's usually what Dark does in these spots. Just 2 infestors, maybe get a fungal growth. Hope for a lucky fungal, some corrosive biles, and suddenly you're back in the game. There's the robo facility. Hero now also treating the map as his oyster, dude. The map is his canvas. Beautiful stuff. Adepts from the early game. Yep, still hanging out over here together with the Zealots. Charge is going to finish up in about half a minute, and I think that's when we see them moving forward. Pathogen Glance. Okay. So we're actually going to go Mass Infestor here. That's the only reason why you would going to be... Or you would be researching that. I think you'd have to go at least 6 or so infestors to justify that. I thought we were going to go for a hive together with like 2 infestors, but not the case. Stasis Ward once again. Do we have Blink? We don't need it. We're just going to march the units. Base ends up going down. Lovely work. Stasis Wards do get shut down, but in the end, Hero gets the expansion. Dark, by the way, yeah, now going for 2 infestors. So they will spawn with fungal growth. That is going to be nice, but he needs them right here, right now. Look at this. Just straight Stalker. Those engagements are dangerous, though, if there would be infestors out. Adepts, by the way, from earlier on, apparently leading this charge. The literal charge. I think they could go in right now if they wanted to. Stalkers once again at the front, trying to reduce the amount of bases here that Zerg has. Excellent micro here coming out of Hero. Reducing the creep spread all the time. My god, we're adding on even more Zealots. That is so many Zealots. 19 Zealots up north. Robo base, 2nd Robo facility. 5th Nexus. Okay. The March of the Zealots. Fungal growth over here, though. Instant recall. Is he going to be able to get away? He will get away with the majority of the Stalkers. Very quick on the keyboard right there. He's just going to right-click the base. Yeah, he's going to be okay. That hatchery is super dead. These Zealots, though, are going to trigger an all-out counterattack, I believe. There's no way that Dark is not going to go for a push right now. I'd be very surprised if he decides to sit back. Here come the Oracles, though. We've actually seen him going back to Oracle production. So one of the infestors just got sniped in a heartbeat. Yeah, he's still making more Oracles. Very nice. Oh, this hatchery. Look at that. Okay. Okay. Let's go, Hero. Hero has now made like 40 Oracles in this series, it seems. Counting is not my strong suit. Anyways, we've got double Disruptor production as well. Zealots coming in for more. I thought Dark was going to go across the map because I don't see how he's going to be able to play this passive game and somehow turn it into a victory, but I guess he also can't really attack, right? Because he knows that there's going to be Disruptors out on the back of this too. He's played against Hero many times. He knows that this is, yeah, what he should expect. Beautiful game right here from the Protoss. Look at him. Little pockets of Protoss. How far we've come from the all army, one big ball type of compositions, haven't we? Actually insane. Now, it's not time to cheer yet, though. Hive starts up. More infestors. It's really difficult to kill a Zerg that has infestors, assuming they're controlled well. There's no way these Zealots are going to be able to achieve too much over there either. Queen's joining in with the infestors right now too, hoping to get a lucky fungal. Okay, well Dark is mexing, Hero is mexing out right now. He has seen the clumped up units there for a while. Oh no, this was to stop the Zealots! Well, it did stop the Zealots, but not the unit that came after it, huh? We're going to see some fungals, decent fungals here so far. Good! Oh, Purification Nova. That is hot. We've got some microbial shrouds going down, but I mean, against spellcasters, like for example Oracles, that doesn't do anything anyways. Hold up. I was fast forwarding through this game, but Dark just did an extractor trick. Are we gonna go for the Eric opener, Dark? Really? He's gotten his base blocked every single game so far. There we go. We did it. So now we do another extractor trick. I'm coaching Dark here. We're doing another extractor trick, yeah, and then we make an overlord at 15. There it is. Dark probably doesn't know about Eric, though. He's like, Eric who? I saw Cyril playing this build. Very good chance. I'm not sure. At the very least, that's the vibe I always get from Dark. Kind of just doing his own thing. Not really watching as many pro games as the majority of the lads out there. Just playing the game in his own way. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward this a little bit. Because despite the fact that this is a bit of a different start to the game, it is still exactly what we've seen, at least as far as the building order goes, right? From basically every single ZVP under the sun. Just the timings are ever so slightly different. Okay, Cybercore is done at this point. And, believe it or not, ooh, it's a Stargate. I don't know if there's a little hole over there. Yeah, there is a little hole over there. Interesting position, though. He's literally just put it right underneath the Overlord. That's a little bit suspicious, right? When you've been trying to, well, at least somewhat hide it the entire series long. Now I just sort of put it down over there. I'm not exactly sure if I like that, to be honest. Anyhow, third hatchery does go down, so this is not gonna be the Eric follow-up with queen drops or all of, you know, I mean, he could still do that, but I don't think that's what the plan is. Timings are a little bit different right now, though, so hero needs to be careful. Link speed is gonna finish up at a different moment than it ordinarily would. Not by much, but it is a different timing. Oh, nicely done. We might lose the adept for it, though. Dark trying to get the Warcraft 3 surround on it. Okay, he won't. Second adept shows up as well. There's the Oracle. Oracle number 1. Third Nexus, planted down without any protection whatsoever. Oh, yeah, commit. Yeah, there you go. 2 drones. 3. Nicely done. Oracle shows up, finishing the job as well that those adepts started. A couple of low HP units. The only problem right now is that the third Nexus is very exposed. Luckily here, though, for Hero, he does have another... Okay, I like that. Yeah, walling himself in over here. He does have another Oracle finishing up. Speed links show up. Not gonna happen. They see the adept over here, but they also now see that there's indeed a probe, as well as a pylon blocking the entrance into the base. Okay. Hero playing his opponent like a fiddle so far. He knows his tendencies very well. He's like, okay, he's gonna make a group of links. Not as many links, though, as we have sometimes seen. Dark now fires up a lair once again, very early, like a 420 lair. What are we gonna do with this lair? Is it once again gonna be quick Hydras? If this is something that Hero sees, I would love to see him go for the Adept upgrade. So Glaives really do shut down those openers hard. The Oracle's nowhere to be seen right now. It's because they're on the other side of the map sniping queens. This is one way to prevent those queen marches, I suppose, but it may come at the cost of the... Nah. The Adept, I guess, but definitely not the third. Okay, Twilight Council, done. Lair, done. What are we gonna make? Nidus Worm, okay. So actually, Dark just lost 2 of his queens. He only had 3. Nidus Worm is over here. Hero. Almost scouts it. Almost sees it. Not yet, though. This Dark, or this Overlord over here is definitely here to provide vision. He sees a random amount of links running across the map. No Roach Warren or anything along those lines. He just fired up 6 Overlords. That is a big mistake. I don't think you want to be making that many OVs. Either way, the worm has been inserted. That is the video game, okay? YouTube monetization, that is the video game. I don't mean, don't demonetize my video, okay? I'm just saying the Nidus Worm is going up in the main. That's all I said, okay? Second Nidus here as well. Only 3 queens. Link's going into the third, or at least they're thinking about it. Yeah, Dark's made way too many Overlords. He actually doesn't have that many Zerglings here. I think he should have a couple more. No, the Roach Warren Eater does mean that his army is actually not that great. Excellent start to the defense right here by hero. Those links are gonna start sprinkling out one at a time. Queens are starting to fall. I think we may very well be watching another one, guys. This series, it started off with a 2-0 lead for Dark. But it turns out it's a 3-2 win for hero.